1 hour left, so we'll discuss Selenium Grid. So what we have learned so far, that we are able to write a script, we are able to run the script. You guys may give a try running on different browser as well, the way I did, like a Chrome driver. Maybe you can use Firefox driver. For Firefox driver, the code, remaining codes are going to say to be the same. The only thing, now you need to create the object of, you need to create an object of Firefox driver, and here we are using Chrome driver, we will use Gecko driver over there. Same way for the Safari browser, same way for the Internet Explorer driver, and for the Edge also, right? So the concept is same, everything is same. The only thing that you need to create a different, you need to create an instance of different class, okay? And that you can do by yourself, and let me know in next week in case you say any issue. Make sure that you are downloading the proper version of, the right version of that driver, first thing. And second thing, if in case you are working on Windows, sometime what happened that you need to go to, you need to see whether you are downloading the 32-bit supported, because I think some of uh, the driver version, you need to ensure whether it is available separately for 32-bit and 64-bit. If it is same, then it's fine. If for IE, I believe it's different. For 32-bit, it's a different driver we need to use. For 64-bit, we need to use different driver. So that is one thing you need to ensure when you're downloading the driver. Okay. So, but one thing we learned, that scripting is fine. It supports cross browser, right? We learn Selenium supports cross browser. We are able to launch the browser if we are having 1,000 test case. And if you are working on a web application, um, you would have, and if it is available for a common user, I mean, if it is going to be available on internet, you just can't make your application available only on a specific browser, right? You need to ensure that it is working at least all the popular browser, which is, the Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, right? That again depends. It vary from, different geographic location. Like US, maybe the market percentage of Safari would be different. In Latin America, it might be different. But still, you might need to at least ensure that your script is working on all the browser. Actually, not your script is working, your application is working fine. And to support that, you need to ensure that your script is working, or you are able to execute your script on all the browser. Selenium gives us the power that the script once, that we are able to develop a script against one browser. With a little tweak or a small tweak, we'll make it work for other browser also. But suppose I'm working here on one system, I don't have Safari browser here, right? I have Windows. I want to ensure that my script working on Mac platform, or on Safari browser, or maybe some other platform. So for whatever we have learned, if we follow that, what we need to do, we need to copy our code into that machine, trigger the execution, and wait for the result. When the result comes, it's okay, it's fine, right? If you are having 1,000 test case, just you want to support the 4 primary browser, 1,000 into 4, 4,000, right? And 1,000 execute 1,000 test case. If it is taking uh, I mean, maybe the nature of test is small, or it is size. I mean, the number of test steps are less. Maybe it is taking 4 hours, right? So 4 hours you will execute on one system, then you will copy into another system there also. Maybe you are smart enough, you are able to copy, and half an hour you are taking to copy all the code in all the system. You are able to run. That is fine. But again, let's see what I want. I mean, maybe you are having a latest version of Chrome. Right? The Chrome and Firefox, they are very aggressive in launching uh, the new version of their browser, right? So maybe the same browser, but different version you need to support. Again, now, earlier it was 1,000 into 4, 4,000. Now, because you have to support the various version of Chrome browser, so 3, 4 version of Chrome browser, 3, 4 version of Firefox browser, 3.4 version of Safari, then again Windows platform, Windows 7, 8, 10, whatever the available. And then you need to have the different version of Mac. It's not small. I mean, just copying the code into different system and running and uh, fetching the report. It's a very cumbersome, it is very tedious task, right? And so Selenium Grid comes into the picture here, where you can you can control, you can, from single machine you can distribute your execution over different machine, rather than you copy the code and run it manually, or to copying the code and run and collect the report. S- Through the Selenium Grid, we can Selenium Grid basically address this issue, this problem, that you would be able to execute your script in a distributed environment by the virtue of the Selenium Grid. You need to just trigger the execution on one system, and through Selenium Grid you would be able to take care of running on different machine. Definitely it requires some configuration, and maybe you need to make some changes in the code also, but that would be very minimal in the beginning itself, where you are creating instance of the driver. And it helps, I mean, even though you are having 1,000 test cases, obviously if you're running it in parallel, that will also take time, that will also save a lot of time. So just not for the cross browser support, within a same browser, if you are able to run your test in a parallel, like all the 1,000 test cases at the same time running, right? So if one test case, the test case which is going to take the maximum time, that would become the time, that execution time would become the overall execution time for entire suite, right? So this is where we can save a lot of time. And the whole sole purpose of automation is just not the accuracy, the time also, right? So why we do automation? That we can save some time. Time is nothing but it's the project cost, right? If you are having a multiple release, um, so we need not to do that. We need not to put the same effort again and again throughout the year if we are having automation script. And it would be better if we can I mean, it would be better if we are able to run our script in a parallel mode, so that we can save more time here. We will get, like in the if development team has deployed some build, within a 10 minutes, if you are able to get the result, you would be able to pass the feedback immediately, then and there, right? So in an early stage, you would be able to detect the defect, so that it is going to save a lot of time and effort for the development team and for you as well. So now it was the little background. I just wanted to explain you why Selenium Grid is important. Maybe you won't be using Selenium Grid, because nowadays what happened in most of the organization which are kind of, which does not have a much budget constraint, they already have taken a license of um, different um, cloud based, I mean, different companies who is offering cloud based browser solution, like Browser Stack or Sauce Lab. You might have heard about Sauce Lab, right? Where it offers you to the it offers you browser available on cloud from your system. You can run your script on their VM, right? So underlying technology, what they use is actually Selenium Grid. But in case your company doesn't have hasn't taken any license, or you don't have um, the Sauce Lab or Browser Stack or similar to these two other options available, you can build your own grid. If you are having a 4 or 5 VM, you can build your own grid, and you can distribute your test on different VM, so that you can, if you are having a need of cross browser testing, you can, on different system, you can install different version of browser or different browsers, and from the single machine you can execute your script on different machines and get the result. You can set up your own grid. So that is what we will be learning today. Okay, before I go, anyone is having any question?
Do we need license for the Selenium Grid?
Selenium Grid is free of cost.
Okay. We can use in organization, right?
Yes,
Okay.
you can use. It's a free of cost, and again actually it's a kind of server bundled in a jar file. So um, actually we are so much used to using the
Mhm.
tool word whenever we talk about automation. Actually it's it won't be right to say that it's a kind of tool, because normally we expect when it is a tool it will have certain buttons and all the things. It is a kind
Mhm.
of the the jar
Y-
file.
Jar
Okay.
file. Okay. So now
Okay.
we have jar installed on our PC. So we have the Selenium Grid.
Right.
Okay.
Even you
Thank
need
you.
not to install it also. It's executable jar. So
Mhm.
even you need not to install. You can just from your console you can start it or stop it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And you can have actually check also. Maybe your organization is already having some if the number of and that again the size of the organization you are working in, or so maybe many of the companies are already having a license of browser stack or source lab. uh, so
Mhm.
and you can that also you can check, because if you are
Okay.
building a Selenium grid, maybe if you're going with a source lab, because they are kind of vendor based, so you will have 1,000 VMs available, where if you set up by yourself, so
Mhm.
you maybe I don't think so company will allow you to use 1,000 VMs at the same time.
Yeah.
So 4 5 maybe, but still I mean
Mhm.
this you can try by yourself, and it will help you to understand uh, uh, where you can set up something by yourself.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
so guys please feel free to stop me in case I'm moving a little faster. If you feel that my speed is should be need to be a little reduced, I can do that. Okay. So first thing what I said, that we need now that now we got the background right, so that it would be easy for you to relate the purpose we got to know. uh, so that I mean the reason why I wanted to explain why we want to use Selenium is so that you can understand the rationale behind going through this particular topic. So simple, you can Selenium Grid download. You can search on Google. By default it will take you to this selenium.dev site. It is the Selenium website. You can go there, and Selenium Grid, this is what you I mean I want you to guys to do this parallel. So let me I mean you can search in Google. You need not to really remember these links or jot it down anywhere. Okay. So is everyone on this screen? I want you guys to do this in parallel.
Yeah, we are already on the screen.
Okay, great. So click on the stable version. There is a Selenium 4 alpha version. It is kind of under testing. So let's avoid that. It may be unstable, and we can see some weird behavior. So let's go to the stable version 3.141.59. Click on this link, and you would be able to see that the download is started. And I believe the size is 10.2 MB, so it should not take much time. So let me copy this, and let me create one folder, Selenium Grid.
Actually, we already did the download of this
This
earlier.
is done.
The
Okay,
starting.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Selenium 141.59.
Okay, so
Yeah. I think all of it I've done.
I'm sorry, I was not aware. Okay, so now I have jar file. So let me explain you with this little background what we are trying to do. As I said, right? So this is one machine, one VM, right? And let me, this is one VM. Then I have another VM, and then I have, these are the three VM. VM1, let me, VM1 is having, maybe IE browser, and then here this is having Chrome, and this is having Safari, and maybe here it is platform Mac, and other is Windows. So what we will try to do, these are the different VMs where we want to distribute our execution, and this is this is where our script is residing, where actual execution will happen, right? From where we want to execute, where our code is residing, and in between what we will try to set up, that this is our grid. Okay, this is our grid, which where basically this will interact with this, and this Selenium grid will interact with various VMs, right? This is where our script would be residing, and this is our local machine. Then we'll have Selenium grid server, and whatever you are seeing, the ping box, and then different VMs, and having the different browser over here. And this is how we can have a setup. And this communication actually uh, this actually this kind of communication happen over JSON wire protocol, over HTTP, but maybe something you can ignore as of for now. I don't want to increase the complexity by using those words. So this is the basic setup. Now I I would be able to, from my local machine, I would be able to pass certain instruction to this ping box. Let me write it Selenium grid, so that, and this is grid, right? So somehow grid should know, right, where it has to pass the instruction further. So these VM, somehow we need to we need to bring into the knowledge of grid that these VMs are available. So this is what we need to register these VMs to this grid, right? So that grid is aware. Otherwise, if everything is independent, how the grid would come to know that where it has to, what all the resources it has, where it has to distribute the execution, right? So, and here what we call it hub, the main one. You can say it's a hub, this system, or maybe you can say hub, and this is what we call it node, the various node. So this would be main controller, right, the hub, from where we will distribute our execution, and which would be kind of middle layer for us, where our code is residing. The code will interact with this hub, and the hub would interact with the node, to and fro, and whatever the information it will give, finally it will pass to our script. Okay, this is the setup we are going to do. So first thing, we need to have that Selenium um, hub setup, right? So we'll go to this server. So is this only the jar file has been copied, or Did someone cover this Selenium Grid topic also? Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't check what has been covered.
No, only we just downloaded all the jar files. That's all. So just we have the jar file.
Okay,
Yes.
so as I said, now the first thing we need to start this server. And what we want first our hub to be ready. So the step is simple. We can go to the command prompt. Okay, I just type cmd over here so that I need not to use the cd command to go to this directory. You can type cmd here, so it will directly open this terminal, and by default you would be in that path. Okay, so now the command is wherever you need to execute any jar file. It is not I mean, this command is not specific to this Selenium server standalone jar. It is common for any jar. If you are executing any jar, java-jar, and then the file name, right? And here what I want this server to start in a hub role, right? First we want our hub to be ready. So I'll specify hyphen role, and my role is hub, right? So you can see the message Selenium Grid hub is up and running, and the port is 4444, right? If in case you have already deployed some application on your system where you are trying to start this hub node, and your port is already occupied, that port is not free. So let me stop this. You can press Control C, it will stop, and again you can type that command, but this time you can specify the port also. Like, I want to use other port, you can give other port 4342, or maybe 4242, whatever you find the port available. So Selenium Grid is up and run. Selenium Grid hub is up and running. How to check? Right here we got the message. You can go to this local. This is on local host. So 4242. If you are able to see this screen, it means the hub is up and successful. I mean, it's up and running, and you can click on the console. So right now we don't have any node register here. So you are seeing nothing you are seeing over here. Okay. Everyone is able to reach to this page.
No, sorry. Yeah,
Okay,
actually, can I share my screen, please?
sure.
Thank you.
So let me stop. Okay.
For me, it works.
Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Um, so this is where I have the Selenium server standalone.
Okay.
So I typed Java after going to this folder, -jar, and the name of this jar file, right? The command prompt. Let me maximize here.
Yeah, actually, you need to .jar you haven't added.
Oh, sorry.
File extension you missed. It looks like that is the reason it got failed.
And then -role.
Then hyphen role, and role is going to be hub space hub. Good. So this is up and running for you as well.
So how do I copy this? Do I need this local host
Yeah,
information?
just use localhost. You need not to go to the IP because this setup is on your local machine. So you can go with the local host, and you need not to go to the just localhost colon 4444. Go to the browser,
Like,
open the browser,
okay.
colon 4444. No, don't use any slash.
Mm-hmm.
Double
Four
four
four.
double, right, 4444. Click enter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
click on console. There is a hyperlink, right. So your hub is up and running now, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I'll go back to my screen now.
thank you.
What is next, right? If you go back to our, so we need to register various nodes, right? Whatever we are having. So now actually, I don't have other VM here. So what I'll do, I'll make my local machine itself server and node. So it will play the dual role. So I have to just make one node. For the node, uh, if you are suppose having a different VM, you need to copy this file, this jar file over there. You need to ensure that whatever it should be same. The version of the server, this file, this jar file should be same on the hub as well as on the node. And if you are assume that now I'm on different machine, so I'm on a node machine, and then I'm trying to register this node to the Selenium hub, okay, to that hub server. What I can do, so here Java hyphen jar, I'm sorry, Java hyphen jar, then jar file, and role would this time role would be node, but I need to give the hub information, right? To which hub I want to register, right? That information also I need to specify, because independent, there is no point of having a node independently getting up and running, right? That then there's no purpose, right? So I need to register with the hub, and that information also I'll have to pass. How to pass that information? Um, I will localhost. I mean, I'll go to the. You can copy the IP if in case you are working on a different machine. So the localhost won't work. You can whatever the IP is coming 192.168.113. But in my case, I can go with the localhost because both are same, right? Or maybe let me type 192.168.113. This is my IP port. What I used 4242. Now I have to use this you remember, grid and register. After this URL, you need to append this grid register so that this node would be registered. This the node is registered to the hub and ready to use. So if I'll refresh this console, I'll see that one node is got added over here. Okay, and we can see the different browser available. And here also you know if in case you see the default the port what has been used here, it has been used 32929. If in case you want to specify explicitly the port name, that also you can do by using the same, by following the same way, the hyphen port and give the port number, right? And you can have
Sorry, how do we stop this running no running server?
just enter controls plus control C.
Control C. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So after this, we need to start again with this node details.
No, you need not to stop the server. um,
Oh, okay.
you because what happened, um, normally if you have multiple
I,
VMs.
I stopped that server. Is that okay?
No, you need not to stop. I'm sorry. So
Uh,
what happened? Because I have only one system, so I'm making the same machine uh, as a hub and as a node. On one port, it would act as a hub. On other port, it would act as a node. Okay, just
Mm-hmm.
just think that this is running on one machine, this particular console, and on if you are having a multiple VM, you will have on each VM this kind of the node, you will that VM you will register with this hub like this. So you have to, I mean, you right now you can do uh, you can make your local machine, or I mean whatever right now you are using, laptop or desktop, that you make uh, hub and node both. And while you are in a working in an organization, you can try that, copy this in one system and copy the same jar file on another VM. One system make hub, other system you make node. Ensure that that firewall is disabled, otherwise you may see some issue because of if the firewall is enabled on the system. And then you try whether you are able to register it or not. What happens, sometimes companies put some sort of restriction. So in case you see a lot of issue, probably you can talk to your IT guys that this is what I'm trying to set up, but somewhere I'm seeing the issue. Sometimes they put an extra restriction based on uh, the policy your organization is following. So but with the help of IT guys, you will be able to make it up and running if they need to disable certain settings. But the command you are going to use will be same. Okay.
So basically, we opened two command prompts, one with the hub and one with the node.
Right.
Okay.
First I made the same localhost on 4242 port as a hub. Then on other port I made it as a node, and that node I registered with this hub, so that on the
Yeah.
console I can see this particular hub is having one node registered. So if any request will come to this hub, it will pass it to the node. I can make multiple node. I mean you might have multiple machine, right? So let's make it another node. So the same command, java hyphen jar, then this jar file. This time role is again node, right? Role is again node, and need to pass the hub information. Hub information is localhost. I'll give localhost, or maybe I can give IP. You would be using IP 113, and the port was 4242, and then I'll use grid register. And if I go back again to the console, now I have two node registered with this console, with this hub. Are you able to see?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, you can try make one make the same machine as a hub and as a node. So you need to ensure that the both the terminal is you are not closing that.
Now I'm getting access is denied error
Where
in the command prompt.
access is denied, but a hub was proper. Hub worked right for you.
Yeah, I closed the window.
Okay, so I mean, first you need to make your hub up and running. Then only you would be able to register your node to the hub. If the hub does not exist, then maybe that is the reason your hub is up and running.
And that's where I'm getting the error. It says access is denied
Okay, so
for
make
hub. Uh-huh.
for hub you are getting this message now.
Yeah, earlier I was able to, I closed it, but now I'm getting access is denied.
Oh, is it? Can you share your
Okay.
screen? Just let me have a look.
Yes, sure. Sorry to
No,
interrupt the
no,
class, but yeah,
no problem at all.
okay. Mm,
Okay, let me stop.
So this is my path, right? I'm trying to, I'm in the C drive now. I'm trying to go to Selenium folder, and now it's saying access is denied.
Oh, so you can't. What you did? Uh, so you can't go like this in the directory. You need to use cd command. I think you just copied, right?
Yeah,
You
I'm in the C drive, right now.
okay? So um, you have to go to. that directory where your file is residing. Or the other thing what you can do, you can still
Mm-hmm.
use java-jar command, but rather than giving a file name, you give the path of, I mean, you give the file, or maybe you can even a short pay, just go here where you go to the address bar and type
Here,
cmd. Yeah, type cmd.
where, um,
Yeah, type there cmd,
okay,
enter. Okay, so you are on a right path. Now you type that command java-jar.
oh, okay. And then the name of this file.
Yeah, press tab key, so automatically it will come. Press tab key. Right,
This one.
right. And then
Mm-hmm.
space hyphen role, and role is going to be your role is going to be hub. Hyphen is missing.
This way.
Yes. Press enter.
It's
Okay, it's
again 444, right?
right.
The
So that port is
localhost.
available for you, so that is not a problem.
Okay. So now I should come here and now again I should invoke one more command prompt
Yeah, one more. You close this and go the same way. Otherwise, um, uh, you go the same way. I mean, just um,
here,
yeah,
CMD.
type cmd.
And now this time I had to enter.
Yeah, the java hyphen jar, through the tab key you select the the jar file,
Mm-hmm.
and space hyphen role. This time role is going to be node.
Like this.
Yes, and then hyphen hub. Now you need to provide the hub information as well to register. You need to provide that information, right? Hub,
Hi.
and then space,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then http colon. Yes, localhost, you can type localhost colon.
Localhost 424
Yeah, 4444, and then slash grid slash register.
like this.
Yes,
Okay. Enter.
yes. So if you refresh your console, you will see uh, the entry for one node. Yeah,
Yes.
you got it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Yeah.
So this is how you can do a setup, but let me go back to my screen again. Anyone else is having an issue? I assume that everyone is able to make this up and running, hub and node both.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So now our hub and node both are ready, right? But now we'll go back to our scripting. How we'll ensure that this is coming, from the script side, how we are going to ensure that we are running our script on a different, we want to run our script in a different machine. So cell grid. Okay. So whenever we want to use the hub, rather than using a browser specific driver, we will have to use remote web driver. Okay. And so let me, and there are a few more things which I'll cover. So web driver, this is this always in camel case. So, and then we can import this, import. Okay. Driver is equal to earlier what we are doing, new Chrome driver like this, right? We are doing, so it will look for the Chrome browser in your local system. Here we want different, we want to use the hub, so this may not work. So what we need to do, new remote web driver, and then we will have to give the URL of your hub. You need to create an object of URL, and then you have to give the look the URL of your hub. So the URL of hub is localhost 4242. Remember one more thing you need to append while for registering. When you are trying to register a node, the hub detail, while you are specifying, while you are providing the hub detail, you are giving the host name, or the IP of the system, IP of the hub, and then you are putting a colon, giving a port number, and then you are giving a slash grid slash register, right? So that is for registration, for node registration. But here when you are giving the remote web driver URL, the host name and the port number it will be same. The only thing you need to ensure that you are appending this WD hub. Okay, and then you saw that it's not just this remote web driver, just not take, if you go into the implementation, it just not, it just does not take the URL of the remote web driver, it takes some capability. This is another thing I wanted to cover. So capability, let's spend 10 minutes on the capability. Okay, what is the capability? So desired capability is the class in Selenium. What happened? Desired capability, the name itself is saying, right, what you are looking for, right? What kind of capability you want in the browser. So normally what happen, when you install the Chrome browser or any browser in your machine, by default there will be certain settings, right? Then you as you work on, you install some plugin, you do certain things, right? That is not in the original state, right? So but when you are launching a browser through the web driver, what happened, it just go with the default profile. It does not create the instance of the browser based on your latest change in your browser. Okay, now while doing your automation, in case you want certain configuration to be made, right? Like um I think it was Meghna who was asking about she is getting some pop-up. um then I said that we might need to add an argument for disabling the extension. Or Swati,
Yes,
I guess.
yes, yes,
Okay,
that was me. Yeah,
okay. So that is kind of, you are trying to change that the browser setting, right?
yeah.
So in the same way, we are having that class. The purpose of that class is to customize your browser on which you want to launch the application. Sometime you want to disable JavaScript, or you want, um, the untrusted certificate. Sometime if you launch the application where you'll see that the certificate error, you want to suppress that error, that kind of setting you want to make. Or uh, I mean the various option you want to open the, normally we use that maximize window, but there is a way that even you can make your browser by default coming in a maximized state. Okay, so all that things we can do with the desired capability class. The syntax is pretty simple: desired capability, and this is how you can create a object of this desired capability. And then you can set different like you can set like what the browser name you want to use, different capability you can set JavaScript enabled, whether you want to set true or false. The platform you can set, the browser version you can set, you can set accept insecure certificate, right? So I mean, you would have seen that sometime we get the um, if we are opening on the IE, that we get three option will continue to this. I mean, there is some kind of security message we get, right? Like if let me see whether do we have any application where we can see that. I mean, the certificate related error, and then we click on the proceed to safety, or then finally navigate to. So that kind of error, if you want to suppress, we can use this option. Now what happened? The desired capability class is fine, right? But you would have noticed that we are basically using the driver, right, coming from different browser like Chrome. So the Chrome driver, right? Firefox driver. So in the web driver, we are trying to leverage the, the native automation support provided by that particular browser. And each browser may have a different options, right? So the desired capability may not be sufficient to cover all the configuration required for all type of browser. So here the option concept came into picture. Okay, certain things are common for all the browser that you can specify in the desired capability. Okay, but the specific one, like for the Chrome, the specific one will go with the Chrome option class, where you will specify uh, the operation related to Chrome, and then you can merge together the the setting you are doing on the browser through the option class, and then setting you are doing through the desired capability class. Both you can merge together and you can pass it here. Okay, so before I write something, let me explain how it works. Okay, so the remote web driver, it is a kind of server, right, which various machine you may have registered over here. One machine may have only Firefox browser available, one machine may have only Chrome browser available, one machine may be the Windows platform, another machine would be Mac platform. Like that you will have all these things. How the hub will know what you are looking for, right? So that information you can pass from this desired capability class. That is the reason it takes this as well as an argument. So in a simple way, if you don't want to set anything, what you can set at least browser name, right? I want to execute my script on the Chrome browser. Okay, oh I'm sorry, get browser name. I said cap dot set browser name, and you can specify Chrome, and this cap you can pass as an argument here into this. And for the URL you need to import class java.net. Okay, so like that you can set platform as well, cap.set platform, or other way around is you can simply set that cap.set capability. Even you can set this capability like this. Also in the key value pair also you can specify that I am looking for the browser name should be. This is also the, this is also the way you can set. Okay, so don't get confused if you are using if you are seeing different kind of syntaxes people are using. So everything is same. Just remember, you need not to go, I mean there are various options available. You really need not to become a master of all the capability. You can set based on your need. Like the Meghna was having a issue with, so she required only the couple of option to know, and that is kind of the one time effort. It is not like that when you are working on a script development in the beginning while launching a driver you may have. So what I want to say that you need not to go through all the capability available for different browser. When you see any issue, try to search in Google that which capability can resolve or can fix your issue. Use that capability in your automation scripts. Okay, and other way around. Okay, I don't want to specify the browser name here. You can even do this also. Desired capability dot Chrome. This will also work. I mean, this is sufficient to say that this capability is for the Chrome browser. Okay. Now, as I was talking about the options, right? Why option is important? You would have seen uh, that in Chrome we are having this option, right? We can there used to be like someone I remember one day was asking that because of the zoom setting he was getting some error, so on Internet Explorer. So that part can also be controlled through the through capability. You can ignore zoom setting. You can mention that ignore zoom setting, or you can open sometime you may have few people would have seen that they do the browsing in an incognito mode. Incognito mode is a kind of private mode where the history won't be maintained, or it's safe. And sometime you will see the application behavior is also different. Sometimes because I have seen defect coming on the Chrome browser only on when the application is being opened in an incognito mode. So that kind of things where you want to open your application in an incognito mode, right? The browser you want to open. So that kind of things, or in the case of Firefox, private browsing, right? In Chrome we are having incognito mode, but that is not available in the Firefox. It is available but in a different form that we won't call incognito mode, we call it private browsing, right? So all that things, as you know, it is specific to Chrome, so that would be available. The incognito mode is available in Chrome, so that would be available with the Chrome option. That is what I was saying. So for that you can, you know Chrome option, and here probably we can simply do this. So option, option dot here, maybe you want to run in incognito mode, so you can mention incognito, so it will start in. Maybe we can quickly check also whether it is working or not. So that is applicable not just a remote web driver, that is applicable even with the normal uh, this option we can pass as an argument for the normal web driver uh, class as well. So new Chrome driver, you can see different constructor, right? Capabilities, it takes capability, it takes option, right? This class is having different constructor also. I'll come back to the grid part because this is somewhere related.
New
Okay.
charger.
Sorry. Maybe any application. Let's take the application we are taking for the example. Maybe we can take that. Right. This is something we are taking. So let's see what happens. There's any error on this? No. So you can see it has open in incognito mode, right? It's kind of, the private browsing where you might be aware about, right? And in similar way, you can option dot add argument. You want to start in maximized mode, right? If we'll run it again, it didn't work. Max, maybe
No,
wha-
actually, there's a yeah
spelling.
spelling mistake.
Sorry. Okay, so it will work actually. Maybe my bad. Uh, I was in hurry in typing, so okay, this time it worked. Fine, perfect, right? So these are various things you can do by this, the option. This maybe you can this the incognito mode, that if your if your application is like uh, available for public, right, where not you don't have any target users or number of users are used, maybe most of the people use this in incognito mode. Maybe you can try running your test in incognito mode, because from my personal experience I have seen the defects coming from the production when it is being and the browser was open in incognito mode, where it took some time for us to know, because we just received the information that there is some issue on the Chrome browser, and when we tried to reproduce from our side, it was not coming. So it was a kind of, later we came to know, okay, the user was basically was opening in incognito mode, and there then we tried to reproduce, it was reproducible. Okay, so these things you can control through the Chrome option, and this is what you will supply. Now come back to remote WebDriver. So remote WebDriver, you have a pool of node registered into this grid. How you will distinguish where and what you want to execute, right? That information you will pass in a form of desired capability or in a form of option to this remote web driver, so that hub will come to know this particular guy or this particular request has a specific requirement, and it will look for the node which is matching with your specific requirement, and it will make that VM up for you, and your execution will start. Got it? So you can specify different things like you know you can, as I mentioned, that you can merge whatever the you have specified in desired capability, whatever you are specifying in option, you can merge both together, option dot merge, and you can supply this capability here, right? So both will come into one, and this you can supply as a uh, option here, and then you can go back to this line. Now if I'll try to execute, it may not work. The reason behind this, what is important for us to, I mean, what is required for us to launch the browser? We should have the Chrome driver, right? System script should know wherever in whatever VM we are running, the VM, I mean that webdriver.chrome.driver, that property variable need to be set to the correct path of the Chrome driver, right? Now you assume you are trying to run on a different system, so that system either manually it need to be enter into the environment variable, right, and setting the value of that path, or let me run it so that you'll come to know why we are getting this error. This is, let's, okay, so this actually, this part is, so let me comment this so that every time we won't get that. So let me kill this, because me myself got confused. I thought that it's working. So session not created exception. And if I'll refresh it, uh, none of the, I mean, what happened when you will see that any of the VM is engaged for execution, you will see these things, being um appear in a different color, maybe a little grayed out. And so one thing we are able to, what is missing here? Oh, sorry. Actually, yeah, that's what I got confused. Because of this line number 31, what happened? I was able to see this browser coming, but that was not coming through hub. Now this would be coming through hub, right? I am, we might have a error coming for this. As you can see this error, the reason is we haven't set the path for our Chrome driver to that node, right? Node, when you are running on node is not aware, right? Earlier what was happening, we have kept this Chrome driver here, it was running in local, so it was aware that Chrome driver.exe is residing over here. And when we have given the path explicitly also to this Chrome driver, so it is fine. But when we are running through hub to the node you assume that you are running on different machine, so there also the Chrome driver should be there. So you either you set the path manually, or while registering itself you provide. So this is the hub. Let me go back to one node and let me stop this.